graphic design, 2D animation videos, websites for our clients. Yeah, so this is my design portfolio. Usually when someone contacts me and says, oh, I want this, or I want that, I believe the way you present yourself is always important, because that would speak and say a lot about how who you're talking to chooses to address you or relate with you. So from the very early stage, I decided to brand myself and present myself more than just an individual, which went into trying to register a company, trying to get all the documents that are required to do business in Nigeria. So my target was larger than just somebody that says, hi, I want a logo. My target was, okay, if I want to work with someone in America, or I want to work with a multinational, they won't just call any random person in their 10 and say, oh, I want this. They will look for somebody that looks like they put themselves together, and somebody that presents themselves in a certain way. So basically, this, I don't know if you've been reading, but my services and samples of work and some clients that I've had to work with over the years. So, yeah, just run through. Alright, so that's my portfolio. My website is there in case you want to, can go back now. My website is there in case you want to see the portfolio or download it. It's available on the website. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So this, the process, she talked about, this is the process that is closer to graphic design. Okay, so you have your brief, which the client will contact you, or if you have an organizational setup, the client will contact whoever is at your front desk, and the person will say, oh, I'm looking for these services, do you offer them? And then maybe from that first point, the person will give you a brief, which basically explains what the person wants. And then it's funny that sometimes people don't know what they want. They will tell you, oh, just do anything, or be creative, play around with it is the word that they always use. Just play around with it and let me see, But it's there for you to know how to handle such people. When someone says play around with it, like she suggested, you have to find a way to sit down with the person and, as much as possible, see how the person is thinking. You define what the problem is, you define what the person wants, and then you see the person will probably intentionally or involuntarily give you pointers to what they want you to do. So you have to pick up this point. The laptop is basically your food. You can't tell me that you eat half-cooked rice. If the laptop is what is giving you the money, then you have to invest in that laptop. If you want to buy more RAM, buy more RAM. If you want to buy more space, buy more space. That is your tool, and you need your tool to be at 100% of the time. Because on the go, my friends used to make fun of me. I always used to go around with my laptop everywhere. But now that Abuja is not so safe, I've learned to drop it at home. Someone could just call me and say, oh, I need this, and then before you know it, I brought out my laptop, I put together like a small brief and sent to the person. The person's like, yes, okay, let's work. So you need to always invest in your tools. You need to download tutorials, you need to pay for classes. You need, your mind, just as the body will give you what you feed it, your mind will also give you what you feed it. So you have to learn to find out what you need to pay for, what you can pay for to make you a better person. So you need to invest, and then you create, you package. Package and presentation goes together. How do you present yourself? How do you present your work? I want this. You just design it and you send to the person. Or I want this, and then you design it. By the side, you write your thought process. Because you are talking about women empowerment, these are the colors I use. Because you are talking about women empowerment, these are the kind of images I suggest you use. Because you are talking about women empowerment, these are the mediums I suggest you use to disseminate your information. So you always have to find a way to do more or give more in a little bit, more than what the client wants, just so the person is convinced that you know what you're doing and the person retains that interest in working with you. Please, next slide. So, be organized, be arranged, save everything. Even if it's a WhatsApp chat, I like to do that in notes. Because people are like, let me see what you've done, send it to me on WhatsApp. So you do it and you send it to the person on WhatsApp. The person is like, oh, make these changes, make these corrections. You screen grab it and you save it. For me, if I could connect my hard drive, I'll show you how I like to organize everything and save everything. So on my hard drive now, you see graphic design. When you enter, you see clients. When you enter, you see the names of all my clients. When you enter that folder, you see the different jobs I've done. There's also a separate folder that has all their invoices. If you enter a job folder, you will see the brief. You see another folder that has things that I downloaded from the internet that I use to draw the ideas together. So there's a thought process. You have to put a thought map, draw from here, draw from here, draw from here. That's why I mentioned researching, because when you research, you find out the things that strike the most emotions and the things that communicate the most. For designers, people will see what you've done first before they hear you explain what you've done. So you have to, hit the point. Visual, thank you. So you have to strike that point heads on when they see what you've done. So you have to write down everything, and then you have to keep your books. This, aside from writing down everything, also has to do with your financing, also has to do with your accounting and all of that. Optimize your work tools again. Your cameras, your laptops, your tools, your digital tapes, whatever it is you need to do to maintain what you are using to work. Always do that periodically so that they can deliver the most for you. Don't let it be about money only, but be sure that you are getting for a good deal. Always, from the onset. Had funny experiences with people. There's an artist, a Nigerian artist, popular person. He had this competition online, and I entered in the competition and I sent it to him. And then he contacted me directly. He called me. He was like, "Okay, I think you're going to win the competition, but I want you to do this. My son's birthday is coming up. I want you to." I'm honestly saying it's a true life story. So my son's birthday is coming up. He's married. I think he's married to a foreigner also. And then I want you to, do this design for my son. I did it, and I sent it to him. And then eventually, when they announced the winner of the competition, it wasn't me. But the guy got what he wanted, So someone else from his agency, another artist now that has not yet blown, now contacted me. I said, I want to release a song and I need all of this put together. I said, okay, no problem. Send me what you have, send me your pictures, send me information. And he did. So I sat down, I worked on it, I put it together, and then I forwarded it to him, sorry. But obviously I wrote something, like I watermarked it, and I forwarded it to him, and he was like, this is perfect, I'm going to use it. Just remove that sample thing you wrote. I was like, oh, okay, I will forward you your invoice. And then he went, I'm supposed to pay? I was like, I don't understand. It's like, as in, I'm supposed to pay. That was the end of it. I was like, yes, you're supposed to pay. This is what I do as a business. This is what I do to survive. And that's how I treat my business. You may be my friend, whatever, but I take my business seriously, because if you don't pay me for my services, I'm wasting my time. I cannot afford the things that I need. I can basically not afford a life. So it may seem like it's nothing to you because I did it under 5 minutes, but it's actually everything to me. So until you have that mentality and mindset about yourself and about what you do, and you present it to people that you are serious business and you mean serious business, they may not take you seriously. And you continue hearing, I'm supposed to pay. Or, I thought it's something that I'll just send you 3K. We just forget about it. Someone else, my church, there's a friend of mine, she gave someone my number for me to do some work. And after all these experiences, you know, I became better. I learned how to relate with clients and how to, from the onset, establish whether or not I will do your work, I'll work for you. You know, instead of doing the work and then when the work has already been done, you are faced with these things. From the beginning, there are pointers you can, you know, follow to pick up these things and know. So I did the work because that person wanted something. I was like, she's a big sister in church. I did it for her. I was like, don't worry, I'll do it for her. So she was like, I'm going to give somebody your number. You know, so she gave this lady my number, and then the woman wanted so much work done. And then I was like, okay, so this is how much I charge. This is how much I will charge to do the work. But because this is the person that brought you, and because I want to, you know, retain that relationship, and all those things that you say to people just to please them, you know, because I want to do that, I will charge you this. And even the subsidized amount that I said I was going to charge her, come on, screamed, and she was like, no. And then I was like, well, unfortunately, I will not be able to, you know, do this work. I went for another meeting one day. I sat down with somebody. I'm also into events, so basically event branding, and then I don't know how many of us have heard of the Food Expo. There's an event called the Food Expo in Abuja. Yeah, okay, so my girlfriend and I, we run the Food Expo. And I handle the visuals, the branding, printing, and all of that. So someone saw the work that I've been doing for the Food Expo and called me for a meeting. And because of how I like to present myself, no matter how little it is, even if it is small money that I know I will get from you, because you are dressed with how you dress, and the first impression you have is usually the impression that lasts the most. I always go ready for the meeting, you know, dress well, put your tools, and, you know, be ready to expect anything they ask for. So I went with my laptop, I dropped my laptop, you know, just all these things that I used to work, and I was writing down what he was saying. So to him, it felt like it was a competition. I brought out a MacBook and I put on the table. He had no reason to bring out his laptop. He now looked at me, he smiled. He now brought out his own MacBook too, put on the table. So in my head, I was like, well, it's not competition, but okay. If you can afford these things, you can afford to pay me. So I now brought out my phone. I dropped it, he brought out 2 phones. And he dropped it. I brought out my browser, and I dropped it. These are just little things, you know, work tools. And then he brought out his own too. So I smiled, I said, okay. Then he talked about his event and what he wanted to do. I said, okay, you've obviously heard and seen my work, but this is my portfolio, and these are samples of work that I've done. And he was impressed. And then he said, oh, he want me to do the flyer, he want me to do videos, he want me to do the sponsored ads and all those things and push out. And then before I could say anything, he was like, oh, and what he wants to pay me, you know, for an event that I think I will be doing that work for about 3 months. He was like, this budget is 20K. And then I was like, first, I don't understand. Like, even to do your event logo, I will not collect that amount. Like, we're talking business here. You are doing a business that is going to give you money. This is my business, that I want to give you the best of my services. So, you want the best of those services, you have to pay. And the guy said, that the best you can do is 25. You know, and you know, that's when I realized that not everybody is your client. Yes. You don't have to work for everybody. Yes. You cannot please everybody. The person that pleases everybody is somebody that doesn't sleep, that has a high blood pressure, that always has eye bags, and wants to kill himself, wants to die young, you know? So, okay. So, be organized, arrange, don't let it be about the money. Think bigger and farther than your immediate reach, and focus on the world as a global village, courtesy the internet. You know, so like you gave an example of people that came from outside the country and we're talking about buildings in Nigeria. I don't know if this is what. Okay, yeah. You know, so what is bringing people from outside the world? The world is very quickly being introduced to Africa, to African countries, and Nigeria most especially. People are hearing about these Nigerian people, what are they about? They want to see. So when they see, what are you showing them? You know? So always have in mind that even though you do something today, in 5 years' time, somebody can see it. And even though the work is 5 years old, it will be all that they know about you. You know? So always think that there are people out there bigger than me that will see what I'm doing. And they should always be impressed or interested. So you have to put all of this into your thinking process. You know, think bigger and farther. Let's go to the next slide. You skipped one. Yeah, so allow yourself to grow. How do you grow? I said what you feed your body is what your body will give back to you. What you feed your mind is what your mind will give back to you. You have to invest in your mind. An architect, what are the new softwares that people use out there? For 3D modeling, for construction plan development, for presentation. What are people using outside? What is new? What is old? What is being phased out? You don't want to be phased out and no longer relevant, because the world is always moving forward. Every day somebody is writing a new program that is doing amazing and new stuff. So you have to be up to date. So you have to allow yourself grow. You have to always research about your field. What is new, what is important, what is coming on board. So that when it comes on board, you're not among the people that are looking for who will teach them, who is doing a tutorial on how to use 3D Max. You are the one that they are coming to meet that, oh, I heard you know how to use 3D Max. Can you teach me? You know, with proper planning and proper research and thinking ahead, you'll be able to do all of this. So you have to allow yourself grow, you research, you invest in your art, you know, pay for stuff, and then learn to go out of your comfort zone. Personally, I'm someone that prefers to work at night because everybody's asleep. You know, so I'll usually do all I need to do during the day, try to get some sleep. Then at the early hours of the morning, I'm awake. I'm trying to read. I'm trying to learn. Always watching tutorials, always learning, always going, like, you may think you're the best in your field, but the moment you step outside and you go to a gathering where other people are doing the things that you do, you'll be surprised what other people are doing. So you always need to have an open mind, you know, so you can pick from other people. And you need to be humble and willing to learn from other people. So you have to plan your time, which is very important. This happens to me a lot, and I'm sure it happens to architects too. You have so many clients coming at you with so many jobs and requests, and then before you know, you have maybe like 3 drawings of a school, a church, a shopping center, a recreational center, and you're supposed to deliver all of these within 2 weeks. You know, and then you deliver the plan, you deliver the 3D models, and how do you do all of those things? Most of those things are possible if only you learn how to plan your time properly. So keep it simple, but give it all you have, or give it your all, no matter how small it is. These things always speak. When someone sees that they give you a very simple and easy task, but they can tell that, oh my God, this guy has put in literally everything that he has and everything that he knows. You know, they will be able to trust you with greater things because you have been faithful with the little that he gave you. Next slide, please. So I find that most of us are very, very skilled at our trade, various trades, but we're terrible businessmen. It happens to engineers a lot. I think it happens to architects too. They are concerned about doing that crazy design and delivering something that will blow the person's mind. But you're not concerned about what it is taking from you, and you're not concerned about getting commensurate value for what you put into it. So you always have to consider You know, being a great designer but being a terrible businessman, it really doesn't help you. Because in the end, maybe you would have a lot of wealth of experience or whatever to show for it, but you would not have a lot of the other thing that you need to show for it. So here, I was going to reference people that I've worked for, you know, but then what is important is that you take up mentors, real mentors, people that will teach you, people that will inspire you. So I'll give you an example of a few people. When I started this, when I left the company that I was working for, and then I now decided to start, you know, putting my hands into this, I met someone, and I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. And the guy looked at me and he liked me. I was like, you know what? I have no experience in this. I studied outside the country for a few years doing this, and I know you need these things. From his own pockets, he took out money and he paid for stock images and tutorials and stuff. He just paid them. He paid for them, and he gave me the login details. I was like, this is what you want to do. Go and learn. Till tomorrow, there's no time that guy will call me that, yo, we need something, that I will not make myself available. And another thing I like is the fact that even as he invested in me, you know, he really helped me have a good foundation. He still respects the fact that I'm not going to do things for him free. So he comes and he's like, we have this deal. Give me your invoice. I will add my own and present it to the client. You know, so you need people like that that will tell you the truth. I will do something and I'll send to him and I'm like, this is nice, but it can be better. Why don't you think about doing this? So it's always good in whatever field, especially design, to always have somebody that you can show your work to. They will help you grow. You know, sometimes you might sit down and think about something, but you won't realize that you're looking at it from only one viewpoint. And all you need to do is give someone else who is not in your environment, who thinks differently from you, and the person will point out flaws or errors that you know you overlooked. And that's just how the human brain is. So, still under these real mentors, I met another person. He really liked my work, and then he would sit down and ask, oh, how much did you do this for? This was early on. And then I'll tell him and he will laugh. He'll be like, no, Akin, you can't do that. Multiply it by 5. And I'll be like, bros, as in times 5? Oh, okay, he said, don't worry. Just multiply it by 5 and give the person. So I'll do that and I'll send. And he'll be like, you know, your work is good, you've done your homework, and you're at the point where you need to meet people that are willing to pay for what you're doing. So initially, maybe there will be small hunger and you will not have money, but people would know that this guy means serious business, and there's a certain level that you should approach him with if you want him to do work for you. So I would try it, and then I will not multiply it by 5, I'll multiply it by 2.5 or by 2. And I'll tell the person, and then he will always shout at me and be like, no, you're not doing what I told you, you need to do this, you need to do this. In fact, next time when somebody calls you and you agree that you're going to do it for 15,000, write 15,000 naira down as you're on the phone with the person. As the person is talking to you and the person is pricing, you just keep looking at the 15,000. You know? And it's funny, but I did it and it worked. You know, when somebody's like, but you know my wife is pregnant. You know I'm in the hospital. And I'm like, I know all these things, you know, but if you look at it, I need to buy this, I need to pay for this, I need to put all these things together. This is how I arrived at your 15,000 naira. If you are saying you want to reduce the price, then I will not be able to do this and this and this, and I will not be able to deliver you what you want. And the person will be like, Kai, let me think about it. You know? So in the end, I learned how to present myself, you know, because pricing is always something that is very, very shaky with clients, especially here in Nigeria. You need to work on your delivery, your packaging, and your presentation for submission. I mentioned earlier that, you know, some people would say, oh, it's just this. They put it in the Word, Microsoft Word document and send. Whereas the other things you can do, you can prepare a slide, you can prepare a brief, other things, and send with your documents. And these things will help. So next slide, please. Before I talk about this, I'd like to give. So there was this revelation I had one day when I was still trying to decide if I wanted to take this thing seriously. And then I looked outside and I saw, how many of us know these truck pushers? We call them Akinboluwaji. Yeah. So you know Akinboluwaji, these guys that push truck, they push this trolley from Area 1 to Kadokuchi to Kuzape, they'll be picking bottles, different things. And then they go to the trash yard and they probably earn like 5 to 15,000 naira for all those things a day. Now what's the difference between a truck pusher and somebody that owns a waste disposal company? Two of them pack trash, right? Think about it. The truck pusher is packing trash. The owner of a waste disposal company is packing trash. But one person, AEPB, pays him millions every month, because he has waste disposal trucks. He has a system, a schedule that goes around. They organize your waste and they pack all of that. He probably has recycling and green energy, all of them. Somebody has taken that same business, that one man, because he's one man, he's putting his all, he has six-pack on his arms everywhere because he's been pushing truck. Somebody has taken that same business, he has thought the process through. What do I need to do away with? What do I need to add? How can I make it better? And then one very, very important thing, how can I take this same service that I'm doing for one person and multiply it across different people? So somebody will tell you, if you make 10,000 from 10,000 people, do the math. If you make, 10 naira from 10,000 people, but if you're making that 10 naira from just one person, it's 10 naira. But if you can, at the same time that you're making from one person, you make from another person, then you've taken your business and you've scaled it, and you're able to get more. So you need to plan yourself and your growth. You need to be able to plan your business in stages. For me, it started out as an idea of graphic design. Then I realized that there's competition and there are a lot of people that are doing what you're doing, because the market will always get saturated. People will always learn and will always deliver something similar to what you're doing. So you always need to learn to be ahead. So I've always planned my growth, and then there's something that I'm also looking into, passive, recessive income. At the same time, because we work a lot with our hands, and we do things that require us to sit down maybe in front of the computer or be on site for long, the money you make or the returns you make are tied down to the hours you put in. But there are also things in this same field that you can do that will give you passive income. While you are focusing on this, with your back turned, something else is happening in your back that is in your favor. So we need to sit down and think about this as designers, as architects. What can we do that we don't need to be doing? So we need to think about that. So for me, I've scaled down my business, fields. There are various fields. We found somebody that was good in this. We found an architect that was good in drawing, an architect that was good in construction, an architect that was good in this. And then he now found a way to make all of them work together. How can they agree? What do I need to provide to make all of them work together? He found those things and he made those things available. Those people worked together and they made money for him. So he's the billionaire. They are his staff doing the work, but he's the billionaire. So we need to also, just let that sink in. Think about it. So you always have to keep thinking. I've been emphasizing the fact that you need to keep thinking. And then we need to realize that you either grow or you die out. Life is simple. Some people try to sugarcoat things. But the moment you wake up and you take away all the sugar from your eyes and you look at life the way it is, you will be surprised that it's 1 + 1 = 2. So you would either need to make the investments you need to grow or you die out. And there's always competition. It's always a matter of time. Yesterday I was reading something about the man that made rain oil. It was a broadcast someone sent to me on WhatsApp, one of my friends. So the man had a speech somewhere and he was talking about how he was a banker and then he left the banking sector and went into oil sector, and then he made his first, this was 1992 or 3 I think, he made his first supply and he made a profit of 35,000 from an investment of 300,000, and then as time was going by, he got more contacts, more clients, and then he now went into, I can't remember the exact one, but what it is a place where you can store oil, like an oil port or something.
Tank farm.
Thank you, tank farm, that's the exact word I was looking for. So he went into a remote location, he had foresight, and he found somewhere that was good, I think in Ori or somewhere. Owerri. Ogara, yes. It's like your brother message. So yeah, Ogara, and he made the first tank farm there, and he put it there, and when he did it, people would see what you are doing, they will know that it is working, and they will be interested. And guess what? They have your experience, your mistakes, your lessons to learn from. So the things that you made mistakes doing, they will not do them. So that's kind of an advantage, so they can learn from your mistakes. So always remember that your competition is alive and your competition is growing. So you always have to be alive. Put healthy pressure on yourself to grow, to improve, and to increase. So basically, the Nigerian clients, please, my brother, not everyone is your client. Not everyone is your client. I'll give you an example, a funny story. So I have this friend who gave a lady my number. She called me. She did not know what she wanted. She said she wanted a logo. And I said, oh, okay, a logo. I will do this within 3 days, 3 to 5 working days. I got her brief and everything. And then I started working on it. And then I would make submissions. And then because of what I was doing, her needs were now taking form, like taking shape. Oh, okay, let's do this. At the end of the day, when I look back at the project, I found out that I had done 27 updates for that lady, which is a lot. People will usually do 3 to 5, So I had done 27 updates for one person on one logo because she was, this font, I like it, but what will the F look like in small letter? And then I would now change it to small letter. Okay, do the rest small letter. I now do the rest small letter. I said, I think I prefer the big letter. I know this is time. This is your time. This is other clients' time. So I had that funny experience, and then from just doing the logo, she came and said, oh, I want to brand my company. We have a pharmacy, we have fruits, I need shirts, I need labels, I need all of this. And then in her mind, it was still that I want a logo. You get me? It was still that I want a logo payment that she's, and I was like, no ma, this is beyond what she said. I have your brief to prove. If you want me to send you the screenshot, I will send it to you. Why? Because I saved it, because I kept it. So it's funny because I've also met clients that will tell you, you look too serious. Somebody wanted me to do some work for her, and I sent it to her, and she didn't call me back because she was scared that I was too organized. Her niece gave her my number, and the lady was like, oh, this guy will help you do it. So she called me, and they said, oh, I need this. Well, this is what you need. I sent samples in that line of work that I've done. I sent my portfolio, and then I sent the time frame. And then the lady didn't message me back. And then I called my friend, I was like, what's up, your aunt's income? He said, oh, like she just needs something like this. Like she said, you're too serious. I was like, talk, my brother, not everybody's your clients. This next slide. So packaging and presenting your business for the kind of clients you want to work with. I was always being stressed by certain kind of clients till I decided, okay, I'll take a break, I'll stop. what can I do better, how can I reposition myself. So when I did that, naturally, I found the kind of people that I wanted to work with coming towards me. So there has to be a conscious effort and conscious effort and work on yourself that will reflect on the people that approach you. So we need to take a look at this 20 people at 5K or one person at 100K example. There's an example I like to share with people. You have 20 clients that pay you 5,000 naira each. What does that mean? You make 100K. Huh? Now these 20 clients have different revisions. Imagine if each of these 20 clients had 27 revisions like that lady. So I'm dealing with 27 revisions across 20 people. I'm dealing with delivering all their work within time. So I can do all of this and make this 100K, or I can find one person that I approach right because I position myself right, and because the person falls into the category of clients that I want. So it's the stress of these 20 people is definitely not the same stress that this one person will give me. I found this to be true. It's very, very funny. People that pay the least amount, they give you the most stress. It's like you had some of the experiences that I've had. Alright, please, next slide. So how do you, I made reference to this, write down your price and stay at it while you're talking, and package your product for delivery. Follow up often after delivery to ensure continued business. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Were you pleased with my services? Please always remember that I'm available to do this, and this in the event that you will need it in the future. Thank you. Happy New Month, ma'am. May you have a blessed month this month. I'm still available. You know those kind of things. You stay in the minds of people, and then they remember, and then they're like, there's this guy that always sends me text messages. What does he do again? Oh, he does this. And call him now. Don't we need this? So these are things that cost you little or nothing that give you the most, because repeat business is always good, especially if they're with the right people. So think of and set up a structure that is supposed to be bigger than yourself. You need to employ, you need to collaborate to grow. So if you are going for a big project, call people that can deliver the things that the project requires. If you are not able to deliver it, don't be selfish. Don't say, oh, I want to keep the whole 2 million to myself. Price your work, price what you're going to do. Be honest with your partners, the people you are working with. Tell them, this is what we want to do, this is how much we're being paid. Because it is me that got the deal, this is my share, and I will pay you for your time, and this is what I want to pay you. That way, you still make money and you get the job delivered. What is important is that your client is happy. Remember I said, it is not always about the money, but always try to get a good deal from the onset. So invest in passive or recessive income opportunities. Next slide, please. So in closing, please, you need to always read, you always need to research, and you always need to invest in yourself. Remember, if you're an architect, don't tell your client that your screen is broken, or your mouse is bad, or your touchpad is bad. It is your business, so you need to fix it. The moment it gets bad, fix it, because if it is bad and the client calls you, you look bad in front of the client. You look incompetent in front of the client. So because it is what you are using as a work tool, it always needs to be ready to deliver at all times. Next slide. So please, these are some resources. We don't have designers in the house, we have mostly architects. But these are websites I use and tutorials, thank you. So Creative Markets, this is a community of designers. We started some years ago. You do your work, you can put it there for people to sell, for people to buy rather, sorry. So if you go there, you will see certain quality of work that is international. Free Pick, Now Project, on Splash, those of us that like to use pictures. Now there's a community of photographers that take beautiful images, and on splash.com, they give you these images for free. So if you are scared of doing stock images and buying pictures, you can go to unsplash.com. I use most of these websites. There's this guy I would recommend we all listen to, please. His name is Buzi Tambakweyo. He's a South African And he's basically, for lack of a better word, he's like a think tank investor. So you come with your ideas and then he invests if he likes the ideas. But more than that, he has a lot to say about business, and he has a lot to say about how you should take yourself seriously. So please go on YouTube, Google Buzi Tembakweyo. This guy will teach you a lot. And I personally, I watch his videos as often as I can. Mina.com, they have a lot of tutorials. Truth Plus, they have a lot of tutorials. Kelby by One, Skillshare, and please, the Almighty Google, or as Nigerian clients call it, Google. Please, the Almighty Google. Let's use Google. Google is your friend. You'll be surprised. Always remember to check what is going on outside before you deliver. So, thank you very much. That's all.